'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, owner of Mint Mobile, with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, owner of Mint Mobile, with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com. 'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Not only have I been the owner of Mint Mobile for the last few years, I've also been a customer. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities, so do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, owner of Mint Mobile, with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
You know, my first year of living in college, it was scary. I then also had to fit in my budget. You know, I had to find another job and fit in my budget, which was food. You can't starve yourself. You have to eat. I wanted to go to the gym, but, you know, my school's gym wasn't working at the time. So I paid for a gym membership. I had to add that into my budget. So what my mom did was she had me sit down. She had me create an Excel spreadsheet, go ahead and go over every single charge that I put on my card, see if it was a necessity or if I just wanted it. And then take those out, put the necessities on there only, and see how much I had after those necessities were done.
Hey, my name is Veronica Cisneros, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, a mama of 3 girls, and married for 23 years. I am obsessed with helping you navigate through the seasons of marriage, helping couples like you break free from feeling like roommates. I will teach you the secrets to having a healthy marriage by providing tools and tips to help you reconnect in a way that you can't keep your hands off each other, where flirting and kissing is the norm in your household. Setting intentional time to date, get to know and support each other's dreams and goals so that you can grow together without keeping score or judging one another. Where you feel seen and heard even when you disagree. Where arguments end with mutual respect and understanding. Where you work together to build and strengthen your family so no one feels like they're carrying the weight of the family on their own. These are the necessary skills your children need for you to model so that they develop healthy relationships and thrive in life. This is the Empowered and Unapologetic Podcast. Hey ladies, welcome to the Empowered and Unapologetic Podcast. I am your host, Veronica Cisneros. Today's guest is a stunning 20, about to be 21-year-old who is an extreme fashionista, who is sometimes a pain in my ass, and I love to the next level. She is known as Lizard Legs. Ladies, please help me by welcoming my beautiful daughter, Aaliyah Cisneros. Hey, Aaliyah. So on today's podcast, we will be discussing college life and what it's like raising a child who is attending college. And so I have to kind of first start off with, once Aaliyah decided she was going to move out. And I'm going to tell you right now, I literally cried like the biggest baby ever. I cried so much, not because I didn't want her to go, but because I felt as if I didn't prepare her. I didn't prepare her for what life, I didn't prepare her for life. I guess to sum that up, I didn't prepare her for life. Aaliyah was still jamming out to Miley Cyrus, watching Hannah Montana. And I'm thinking, holy shit, my daughter's moving out. She's going to live in college dorms. They're going to eat her alive. They're going to completely eat her alive.
She wasn't wrong.
Well, it's not that I didn't have faith in her, but it just felt like I still, there's so much to teach her. And I remember the night before you moved out, I was literally working out in the garage, and it was 11 o'clock at night, and I'm working out and I'm trying to lift, and I just started crying. And I was just oh my God, I failed her as a mother. I didn't teach her enough. I didn't teach her how to, defend herself. I didn't teach her how to set boundaries. And you're shaking your head right now. No, but that's literally where I was going. I went straight into it wasn't enough. And because it wasn't enough, totally went into, it is my fault. If anything happens to her, it is my fault because I failed. And that was really, really hard, and Willie and I had, Dad and I had conversations about this, about our baby is about to move out. They're going to eat her alive because as she's moving out, you were packing that night too. And you were listening to Miley Cyrus. What is that graduation song? You're literally talking the season finale song.
Yeah.
What is that? While you're looking it up. But she's literally rocking out to Miley Cyrus in her room while I'm working out. And I went upstairs and I had a conversation with Willie, and I'm like, babe, we totally failed her as a family. She should be listening to Bone Thugs and Harmony or Tupac because she's about to move out. And
I'll Always Remember You by Hannah Montana.
There we go. You guys got to listen to it. But she's literally crying, packing, listening to Hannah Montana.
It's an emotional song. Have you seen the episode?
But it was just there were so many thoughts. There were. And one thing that ended up I don't know, it was this kind of aha moment for me was I might not have taught you every single thing that I wanted to teach you. However, one thing is for certain. I did teach you that no matter what, if you need help, I will be there for you. And you can always come to me and talk to me about anything. And I had to rely on that. I had to rely on, although I might not have taught her everything, the one thing that I did teach her is she can count on me to be there for her. And so in this conversation, I want to make sure that we cover some topics, what, as a parent, because we have a lot of moms listening, as a parent, what could I have done better? What do we need to know to prepare our kids for college?
I don't know, because it's different for everyone. And I just listening to understand, not listening to fix, is a pretty big thing, because I know that, with parents, I now work for you, so I hear a lot of it all the time. So just parents, don't try to fix your kid. Your kid just wants you to listen. They don't want you to just jump to conclusions or just jump to, okay, well, I have to be at the rescue. For me, in my case, I most of the time wanted to just figure it out on my own. I didn't want, my mommy coming to save me 24/7. Because one, I mean, you are an adult. You have to go ahead and do things on your own. You're in college. This is the first step to adulthood. Also, it's kind of like
this self-assurance,
yeah, kind of. You have to know that you can do it yourself and not have to rely on anyone else, to bail you out of things. And sometimes, I did have to rely on my mom. I had a couple instances with roommates in, both years that I did move away, that were really hard for me, and I needed to go to my mom. I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't do it. I had to move out both years of, 2 apartments. So, I mean, dorm is not all it's cracked up to be. I've heard several of my friends also tell me that they had to move out as well, due to problems in dorms. It's not just, first time's a charm kind of thing. You definitely have to try out your roommates and get to know your roommates before you move in. But I don't know, just kind of know that your child has it, and they'll come to you if they need you. And if they don't, I mean, someone will, if they care enough about them.
Yeah. I think that's the hardest part, though, because, I know for, let's go over the first dorm that you moved into. The first dorm you moved into, I wanted to make sure that you had your own room. I wanted to make sure that you had a suite where there weren't a lot of people in there, and you were able to go ahead and have a little bit more of a say in where you were living. And at the time, you had a best friend who she couldn't necessarily get that private suite due to financial reasons. And I remember you kind of saying, "Mom, I'm fine. And it's yeah, but there's 6 girls,
There's 8 girls.
Oh, 8 girls.
8
That's
girls
right.
in total.
8 girls. And there's 8 girls in one dorm. That's nuts. You're like, "Mom, I'm fine. I'm going to be with my best friend," who ended up not even being your roommate. I'm going to be with my best friend the whole time, and we're going to have so much fun. And I'm going to tell you right now, that was so hard, because a few of your roommates, I'm not going to lie, totally kind of screen them a little bit. And it was holy shit. My daughter's going to be moving in with them. And I want to make sure, I'm all about empowering women. I'm all about, helping women build confidence. And here I am, I'm watching my daughter, who I see as confident. However, she struggles.
So scared.
Yeah, she struggles with setting boundaries. She struggles with asserting herself, and it's
confrontation in general.
Exactly, and it's just hey, no, not my baby. And I had to rely on, what? She's gonna figure it out. And although it wasn't maybe figured out the way any mom would want it figured out. One thing that I'm learning, and it's so crazy, but one thing that I'm learning is it's not going to be the way that I would figure it out. It can't be, because it's not my life, it's your life. And I hate saying this because I don't want to admit it, but I can't protect you from everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the biggest things as a mom is like knowing that I cannot protect you from everything, even though I want to protect you from everything. And I guess that's kind of like that's where a lot of us moms, a lot of us parents struggle, is because we want to protect you from everything. We want to keep you from being in harm's way. And, at the same time, you're also you're also starting this new journey of being an adult and figuring out what an adult looks like. And I know for me, there's no way in hell I'd be who I am today had I not made those mistakes. And if I know that for myself, then I need to step back and allow you to make yours.
No.
Mm-hmm. And it ended up not working out with your first dorm, right?
There's someone that was crazy in there.
Well, yeah. And you did eventually, have a conversation with me, and we were able to go ahead and get you to your private dorm, your private room.
Yeah.
However, it did come with some some lessons.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is the biggest feedback you would give to maybe an 18, 19-year-old about to move out?
Do your own self-screening
Okay.
on your roommates, for sure. You're meeting most of these girls through social media, and I mean, if you're lucky enough, you're going to college and you're going to be living in the dorm with someone that you've been planning on living with them for years. Even then, I mean, this year I was living with my supposed best friend, and that didn't work out.
No.
But I would definitely aim to get your own room. And if you can't get your own room because of financial struggles or just whatever you are going through, set those hard boundaries before you move in. If you have to move in, or stay at home. There's no shame in staying at home. Yeah, we want to go out. We want to find our own individuality in ourselves and, just be independent. And not be so dependent on our parents, but it came as a shock to me, and then also some of my friends to I wish I had my own room, because you can't necessarily run away from your roommate. They're right there the entire time. You don't have any privacy, and most of the time, I mean, who knows who they're going to have over, and it sucks not knowing, especially when, we're in college, people are going to drink, people are going to do certain stuff that you don't necessarily agree with, but they're going to do it in your room, which is supposed to be your safe space. And so, during your sleep, you don't want to have to worry about what's going on next to you.
Yeah. So some of these things, as a mom, we've had conversations about, right? Mm-hmm. So I remember having conversations with you, Aaliyah, listen, you sharing a room with somebody means that there might be times where somebody's maybe having sex next to you. And I hell no, I don't want that to happen at all. And I can't control it. Mm-hmm. And so even though we did have these conversations, you obviously still chose to go ahead and do this anyway. Mm-hmm. And so in what ways can maybe as parents support you, even though
you're doing the wrong thing?
Well, exactly. Like you said it. Yeah. Because it's one of those things, I'm watching you walk into a tunnel and the train's coming, and the train's loud as hell, literally choo choo, Leah choo choo, and it's Leah choo choo, Leah choo choo. And you're like, Mom, choo choo. And I'm like, no, it's not that type of choo choo. You know what I mean? How, what do we do? Because it's so nerve wracking, and I want to put you back in my belly.
Oh, hell no.
But it's true. On your end, why did you need to walk into, I guess the way I could describe it or give the analogy is, why was it so important for you to walk in that tunnel, even though you knew a train was coming?
For me, I I wanted to live on my own. I've wanted to live on my own for a long time. And, I don't go to a school that's far. So because of that, commuting is easy.
Yeah.
But I have always been very, very, very dependent on my parents, on my family to get me out of certain things. I have had a really tough and in some ways traumatizing childhood as well as college life. And so
well, when you mention childhood, what are you referring to? Dad and his deployments?
Yeah, I mean, it was really hard, with my father leaving constantly for deployments and not coming back for a really long time because I didn't really have my dad, even though I did have like Skype and FaceTime and all that. I didn't really have that security with him. And so for me, I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to go on my own and see, what the world had to offer me, without being stuck in my home. I just wanted to go ahead and explore, what I could do.
Why was that so important to you? I love that you're saying this because it's really important. I think as parents, it's like, well, yeah, you can explore all of that in the house, or you can explore all of that.
I have helicopter parents,
right? Well, I mean, let's just hello. My name's Aaliyah Cisneros. I'm a helicopter parent, but like,
it still has Life 360 on me.
Hey, so what? Okay, so what? Why are we talking about that shit? But it's like, but help me or help us understand, like, why is that so important?
You have to know who you are outside of just being a child.
Beautiful. Oh my God, I kind of want to cry right now.
Because, growing up, for me, I have a helicopter mom. She's with me everywhere I go. Still has me holding her hand crossing the street.
Listen, there's some dangerous drivers out there.
You're shorter than me. They won't see you.
It doesn't matter.
I need to hold your hand. But I don't know, like, for us, like, we're known only what our parents have taught us. And, there was certain things where my sister, that is, at the time, was in middle school and just going into high school. Her friends were telling her that I had no idea. I was very sheltered. But I had no idea what certain things were. And I was kind of scared. But I was just like, I have to figure things out on my own without my mom, without my dad. Like, I'm going to be an adult and there's no way I could take on this adult life, especially after college. That kind of just gets thrown at you way more than college does.
Yeah.
I had to figure out who I was on my own without, the identity of, just a kid.
Yeah. And that part right there is also what I raised you to do. Mm-hmm. I raised you to be, Dad and I raised you to be an independent woman. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's something that's very, very big in our household. I modeled it for you with regards to having my own business and teaching you, like, teaching you certain skills. And Dad did the same thing, mm-hmm. Making sure that, you embraced who you are and embraced what you wanted to be. Mm-hmm. That's really, really big in our family. And we're really big on like adventures and stepping outside your comfort zone. But this was definitely stepping outside of my comfort zone because it was like, holy crap. And I remember, I'll never forget this. I remember when we went to that one restaurant where you like the water. It's an inside joke. But we ended up going to this restaurant. And so Willie and I do this thing. You want to explain it to what we do?
The mother-daughter date nights or the father-daughter date
nights. Yeah, you want to explain it?
So every single week, or we try to make it every week.
We just came back from Spain, so things we're still off. We're still off on our schedule. But for the majority.
Yeah. So what it is I have two sisters, so it's going to be me, Aubrey, and Brooklyn. We all kind of rotate on parents. So one week it'll be me and mom. The next week it'll be Aubrey mom, Brooklyn mom, so on and so forth. And then it'll go on to me and dad. And then it'll go from there. But each week a parent takes out a kid and they go ahead and they have a little budget planned. But you go and do a little date night of a mother-daughter or father-daughter date night. And just to kind of see like a little check-in, what's going on in life, how are you doing? What can I do better as a kid? What can parents do better as a parent? And then also, for my dad's point, like, it teaches me how I should be treated as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and how a guy should treat a girl like on a date,
Mm-hmm.
Just simple things. We talk about that a lot with my mom and my dad. We talk about, like those typical things, drama, boys,
Mm-hmm.
but mainly life and, what's going on and how I can further venture this journey.
Hey there, high achieving moms and wives. Are you tired of feeling like something's missing in your marriage? Well, buckle up because I'm about to reveal the missing puzzle piece that will bring back the romance, intimacy, and equality you've been craving. I understand what you're going through. It's not just about the occasional date night or a box of chocolates. It's about creating a deep emotional connection, feeling truly understood, and being on the same page when it comes to parenting. You want more than just a teammate. You want a partner who supports you, lifts you up, and shares the responsibilities of life. But let's be real, finding that balance isn't easy. That's why my 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work program is here to guide you every step of the way. In just 12 weeks, I will help you build the foundation of a rock-solid relationship, one that's built on romance, intimacy, and equality. Imagine rekindling that spark, reigniting the passion, and discovering a whole new level of emotional security and communication with your partner. It's time to break free from the mundane and reignite the fire. But wait, you might be thinking, what have I tried already? Trust me, we've seen it all. Couples who've tried everything from fancy date nights to self-help books. And while those things have their place, they often miss the mark when it comes to true transformation. That's where my expertise comes in. As a licensed marriage and family therapist with a decade of experience, I've honed my skills in helping couples like you create lasting change. Together, we'll tackle the root issues and provide you with practical tools that actually work. So don't settle for an average marriage when extraordinary is within reach. Head over to veronicacisneros.org/coaching right now to learn more about this program and apply. Remember, spots are limited, so don't wait. This is your chance to finally have the romance, intimacy, and equality you've been yearning for. It's time to reclaim your emotional connection, support each other, and become the unstoppable team you were meant to be. Let's rewrite the story of your marriage together. Visit veronicacisneros.org/coaching and take the first step towards a love that exceeds your wildest dreams. The journey to a fulfilling marriage starts now. Don't miss out. So what are you waiting for? Go to veronicacisneros.org/coaching and let's transform your relationship. On this particular date that I took you on, I had asked you, and I always ask this question. Brooklyn's like, I know, Mom. I know what you're going to ask me. What can I do better as a mom? Is that what you're going to ask me? Yes, Brooklyn. That's exactly what I was going to ask you. And I remember asking you that. I asked you, Aaliyah, you're about to graduate from high school soon. What can I do better as a mom? And you had said, and I'll never forget it, you had said, teach me how to be independent. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I could teach you anything else, but no. You said, teach me how to be more independent, Mom. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't want to teach you that. Let me teach you something else. Let me teach you about finances. Or let me teach you.
Yeah, you went straight into that. You were like, so this is how you do your taxes. I was like, I don't care about that. Like, She's can learn that after. I need to be independent, though. Mm-hmm.
And it was.
That's why I moved away.
And it was so hard. It was so hard. However, it was also a learning lesson. And so now that you had your dorm time, you had your apartment time, and now you're back in the home, right? Mm-hmm. No. So now you're back in the home, and you're back in the home. And one of your biggest issues with moving back in the home, even though you wanted to move back in the home, was, Mom, I don't want to look like a failure. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't ever want to look like I'm regressing. Mm-hmm. And I remember having a conversation with you and saying, Mama, you're not regressing. Like, if you stopped going to school, okay, that would be regressing. Or if, you came home and all of a sudden you're pregnant. Okay, well, yeah. But that's not what we're dealing with, right? You're coming home because you attempted to go ahead and live on your own. And you were in really, really not so great circumstances. Your last place, there was extreme bullying. And, I'm glad you're not there anymore. And I'm thankful that you're back home. And now living at home, we do have, and that's kind of what I want to make sure we cover too here is, now that you are in home, you do have the ability to go wherever you want, and we're not on you with curfew. However, there are rules in the household,
Yeah.
right? Can you go over some of the rules that we have, including maybe like financial rules?
So financial rules, I have to pay rent. I pay for, obviously my own stuff. So my own car insurance, and then phone bill. I also pay for a bill. So currently water bill, and then some extra for rent. I also pay, for my own gas, my own expenses. I don't have to pay for groceries, but if I do want to make something for the family, I'll buy that. What's it called, with fit rules inside of the house, make sure things are clean. There's chores that come alongside living at home. No guys upstairs, friends, respect the house, always, say hi and bye to parents. Just simple rules, treat the house with respect, kind of thing. And then, no alcohol or drugs, but that's kind of an obvious one.
So the rent, right? Because a couple of parents have reached out to me. One in particular was like, I'll go ahead and read the message that they sent me. She said, "Do you have a podcast episode discussing your adult child living with you and setting boundaries? What type of boundaries have we set? So what type of rules have we set that, let me go ahead and rephrase this. The rules that we have in our house. So like the fact that you pay rent. Obviously we don't need you to pay rent, but you do pay rent. What is that? What is one lesson that paying rent has taught you?
Financial responsibility.
How so? Tell me more.
You have to learn how to budget your weekly, monthly spending.
Mm-hmm.
So for each week, I know that I have my bills to pay. I have my gas to pay. I have, certain things that, happen each week, such as like Stampede, my favorite thing to do. I make sure that I budget in order to have those things, as well as some expenses that could potentially happen. Car breaking down, you having to go to the shop, oil changes, bills such as dental or
Health.
Yeah, health reasons. I still have to call my doctor.
For real.
But it teaches you financial responsibility on how to, do it on your own. The independent portion, because when you're dependent on your parents to just go ahead and pay for everything, you step out into the real world, it's gonna hit you like a brick.
Yeah. So for our household, Aaliyah pays $500 a month. And that includes her phone, that includes her car insurance. And what else does that include? Phone, car insurance, water bill, and then I think also health insurance. I don't remember. Willie has the full breakdown. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to be so straight up. I did not want Aaliyah to pay anything. I'm like, dude, we don't need her money. Let her keep her money so she can go on vacation and she could just do her thing. And Willie's like, no. She's going to go ahead and pay rent. And obviously, although I was against her paying rent, I'm also happy that she's paying rent. Here's why. Aaliyah just purchased a car.
My second car.
Yes. Yeah. And do you guys hear that excitement in her voice? She bought it. We didn't buy it for her. She purchased it. It is so important. I have 3 girls. It is so important that my daughters are self-sufficient and independent. And part of this means that there are rules in the household. And although I don't want my daughter to sacrifice, there are times where she's like, Mom, I'm not going to be able to go here because I have this. And she's not telling me because she's complaining. She's just it's kind of conversation. Right away, I want to say, okay, Leah, don't even worry about it. We'll cover it. You do this. Go ahead and do it anyway. You got this. And I recognize that, I recognize that if I do that, it will only further delay the process. And so right now, I want to give you moms some tips on what to do. I want to give both parents some tips on what to do when you're raising an adult child and they just so happen to be either living with you or they're moving out in the dorm. So first things first, the biggest thing I would say is making sure that you teach your child how to budget. Do not think that your child is just going to automatically know how to budget their money. Because guess what? If they look at your spending habits and all those damn Amazon packages, you have not taught them how to budget their money. So Aaliyah, for you, what did we do to teach you how to budget and be smart with your money?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm still a shopaholic, but I budget so that I can be a shopaholic
Bingo.
and not have to pull from my savings, like I used to.
So what did we do? But when you graduated high school, what did you have to do?
When I graduated high school, that's when I started paying for dental, my doctor's visits. I mean, I was 18 years old. I was starting to be an adult. This was before I even moved out because of COVID era. I couldn't, live in the dorms. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move out. But I did start paying rent, and that was $217 a month. And so I paid that to my parents, and that kind of helped me out. But that first year, I had no idea what I was doing. My parents ended up making me watch these Dave Ramsey videos to go ahead and, access financial freedom.
Yep.
I watched those videos. Those were really helpful. As well as, my first year of living in college, it was scary. I then also had to fit in my budget. I had to find another job and fit in my budget, which was food. You can't starve yourself. You have to eat. I wanted to go to the gym, but, my school's gym wasn't working at the time. So I paid for a gym membership. I had to add that into my budget. So what my mom did was she had me sit down. She had me create an Excel spreadsheet, go ahead and go over every single charge that I put on my card, see if it was a necessity or if I just wanted it. And then take those out, put the necessities on there only, and see how much I had after those necessities were done. So that is, going ahead and accumulating all of your gas bills for whatever time you get your paycheck, getting those gas bills, going ahead and seeing how much you need in order to go ahead and get to the next paycheck without having to struggle or pull from different savings or asking mom and dad, can I have this money? I ran out of gas. Same with food. How much is your groceries? How much is your rent? How much, are all of those necessities? And then going into, okay, well, I want to have fun. For me, I go to Stampede. I love it. I like doing my own thing. So what I do is I know that it's going to be, or what was $15, now it's $10. But, what was $15, I have to put that into the budget, I get paid every 2 weeks. I'm going to put $30 away just for this. And then now I have X amount of money. I can't do a lot with X amount of money, but let's see what I could do to go ahead and start saving in my checking account to go ahead and build that so I can go on this trip for spring break or this trip for winter break. My friends are going to Havasu for this weekend. Like, I want to go. How can I go ahead and go? How can I make more money? How can I, to go ahead and be able to do those things without having to rely on my parents.
Bingo. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is where you and your husband need to have a conversation alone. It's going to be very important for you and your husband to have a conversation and identify what are your areas of that you're not willing to negotiate and what are your areas of flexibility. For me in the beginning, I wanted my daughter to go ahead and have, I didn't want her to pay rent. However, after listening to Willie and hearing, his reasoning behind it, it totally made sense. And so mine went from a non-negotiable to an area of flexibility. And so what I want you guys to do is I want you, either your kid is living with you now or your kid's about to go to college. I want you to go ahead and sit down with your husband. And I want you to go ahead and identify what are your non-negotiables. So what are there? Your kid has to pay rent. Your kid's going to have this certain amount of money, or your kid's going to have to work. whatever it is. I want you to go ahead and be very, very crystal clear on what those things are. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and once you have all of those things listed down, I want you to listen without trying to fix, listen without trying to manipulate him, listen to his rationale. Because believe it or not, maybe, just maybe, his idea might be better than yours. I'm never going to admit that Willie's ideas are sometimes better than mine. However, in this case, they were. And this is where you guys are working as a team and you guys are collaborating, which I'm going to tell you right now, your teen living with you or your teen moving off to college, it is going to cause some frustration. It is going to impact your marriage in one way or another, especially if you guys already struggle with communicating. And so this is where you're having an honest conversation with your partner. You're putting it on the table and really identifying what you guys really want this to look like. Once you guys have established what this looks like, she's going to pay rent. She's going to have, or he's going to have this much money, in the budget. For Aaliyah, we had a predetermined amount on how much she was going to be receiving from us for college and for her dorms. And so that was already predetermined. We weren't willing to negotiate. It was there.
Also have my job at Forever 21.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I didn't want Aaliyah to work at all while she was in school. Willie was like, it's okay for her to work. And
freshman year, I had 4 jobs. Yeah. Those babysitting and then on top of
that's
that,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like 4 jobs. What are you talking about? Yeah. But what ended up happening was I started to see my daughter grow. And I started to see my daughter's level of confidence increase. And I started to see her feel more empowered, which is ultimately exactly what we wanted. And so when we did have a conversation with you and we did say, okay, you're moving into your apartment, we're not going to furnish it. And I totally remember, I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to hire Lynn. Lynn's my interior designer. She designed the inside of my, she did my office. I have 6 offices, or I have a 6 office suite. She designed that and she did our home. And I was like, this is my daughter's first apartment. I'm totally hiring Lynn to go ahead and, decorate Aaliyah and fully furnish Aaliyah's apartment. And what did Dad say?
Hell no.
Dad was like, not a chance in hell.
But I did it for $100.
Bingo. And see this right here? Like this right here is exactly what I wanted. Aaliyah was able to go. Where did you go to buy your or get your furniture?
Offra, Facebook Marketplace, family friends that were,
Moving.
going ahead and moving, selling stuff, thrift stores. I got this really good coffee table. It was like a convertible coffee table. It had drawers in it and everything. Like, it was really nice. It had maybe like 1 or 2 water stains on it. You just scrub it out. But I got it for like $20 at the thrift store. You can go to garage sales. We got a couch that we ended up getting from one of my couches, and then another one was a what's it called? When they're selling the house because someone died, and then
Estate sale.
Yeah, we got an estate. We got our couch from an estate sale. We ended up getting a couple people to go ahead and bring it over. But there's so many different ways where you can get stuff for free. People are leaving their furniture out that they don't want anymore. They're leaving it out on the side of their road. We got our bar stools from that. There's so much stuff that you can get for free or for extremely cheap by just negotiating down the price.
What would you say that taught you? Going into the thrift store, being able to buy furniture.
Oh my God, I loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I hated it. I wanted to cry the whole time, especially when I walked in your apartment and I see nothing but thrift store. It felt like, to be honest, it triggered everything in me because that's how Dad and I started out. And I was like, gosh darn it, I don't want my daughter. It was. I'm not gonna lie. It was. So, ladies, right now, as you're listening to all of these skills and all of these tips, I want you to recognize that setting these boundaries and respecting them is not only going to help you in your relationship with your partner, but it also is going to help you with your relationship with your kid. Aaliyah, what is the biggest takeaway that you've learned from being an adult? That maybe you've learned from us or maybe you've learned from life?
One thing I want to add on is make sure you buy your own furniture so you can take it when you leave.
Okay, I'm just saying. I said that in the beginning. Mm-hmm.
I did that.
Yes.
What's one thing that I learned?
What is one life lesson that you've learned?
I learned a lot.
Well, okay, so maybe a couple.
Listen to your parents when they say that people are bad and they're not a good idea moving in.
Okay, amen.
That was the first part.
First two. Yep.
So definitely listening to your parents. They kind of have a thing or two on knowledge.
Little bit.
Yeah, just kind of. Learning that you can do it on your own, and you have to try to problem solve. And if it gets to a point of like, I can't, and I'm like breaking, I'm at my breaking point, you can always reach out to your mom and dad, even if, you're not as close with them, you're in a little fight with them. They're your parents. They're always going to love you.
Mm-hmm.
You might think that you're going to disappoint them. And yeah, there might be a little bit of frustration in the beginning, but that all in all, they're still your parents. They're still going to back you no matter what. You're their child. You're their baby. So knowing that you can lean on them when you need it, don't do it for everything, but I mean, if you need it, you need it.
Yeah.
And then also how to be financially responsible, I guess.
Yeah. What is one piece of advice you would give to the mom that's listening, and has a son or daughter that's living with them and they're struggling with their relationship because there's no boundaries set?
Set those boundaries and make them don't make it like unattainable, but like just make sure you set them. And then on top of that, trust your kid. Trust that they have it, they can do it, and that they're your child, but they're ready to leave that nest and be on their own. It's their time to grow now.
Mm-hmm. So Aaliyah, you're going to be 21 in 7 days.
Period. Club's going up on a Tuesday.
21 on Tuesday. I just want to say, and I've said this to you before, I am so proud of you. I am. I am so proud of the woman you are becoming. I am so proud to be your mom. And I honestly have to say, like, you've surpassed anything that I've ever wished and dreamed for you. Like, just kind of watching like you do it, and how many times I've kind of wanted to intervene and like, let's do it this way. And it kind of it goes back to like, surrendering to God and knowing that God has a plan for you. And, even though, I want to go ahead and like, intercept that plan, or I don't even know what the word is, but like, kind of dictate it, like just really just trusting you and trusting that no matter what it looks like, you're going to make the right choice. And that's one lesson that I've been learning is anytime I want to jump and like make the move for you, and I'm a work in progress, but anytime I want to jump and like make that move for you, like sit back down and just listen. Like sit back down and listen and just watch her grow. I love you.
Love you too.
All right, you guys, that's all we have for today. Until next time, bye for now. Let's be honest. We can all use a little help in our marriage, especially when it comes to communicating. I have created a guide just for you. 5 things that are killing your marriage, tips from a therapist. Find out if you are making these marriage mistakes. Ladies, this guide is 100% free. I will give you practical tips and easy to use strategies to apply right away. You all know I'm a huge advocate for couples. I am on a mission to help you and your partner experience stress-free living. With this free guide, we are setting our marriages up for success. But it starts with you. You will find this free guide here in the show notes, or go to www.veronicacisneros.org. The information I will be providing you is next level, and people pay good money to get these tips that I will be giving you for free. Don't forget to share this with a friend. What's up, ladies? Just want to let you guys know that your ratings and reviews for this podcast are greatly appreciated. If you love this podcast, please go to iTunes right now, write a review, rate the episode, and subscribe. Don't forget to share it with your friends.
Addiction impacts all of us. Addiction's consequences run through all of us. From ourselves to our loved ones and through our communities, addiction creates so much loss and grief. My name is Dwayne Osterlin, and I'm the host of the Addicted Mind podcast, a show featuring personal stories, expert guests, and vital information about addiction and addiction recovery. We'll talk with leading treatment providers to discuss the latest research and treatment options for this devastating disease and advocate for mental health awareness. We discuss topics like the importance of creating a community of support, to helping loved ones, to some of the latest research on psychedelic medicines. The Addicted Mind podcast has been about creating hope, listening to stories of many amazing people that have overcome addiction and are thriving. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, subscribe to the Addicted Mind podcast wherever you get your podcasts, or check out theaddictedmind.com. New episodes every Monday. See you there.
It's easy to blame ourselves for our struggles with alcohol. We see people around us being able to control their drinking without any consequences, yet no matter what we try, we can't seem to figure it out for ourselves. My name is Jillian Teets, and I am the host of the Sober Powered podcast, where I use my biochemistry background to explain the latest research in addiction and help you understand both why you drink the way you do and how to develop the skills and mindset you need to find freedom from alcohol. I discuss topics like why we think about our drinking 24/7, why we have no off switch, and why we crave alcohol. If you're struggling with your drinking or you know someone who is, then I hope that you will check out the Sober Powered podcast. New episodes every Friday. See you there.
I know we've been taught that motherhood requires alcohol. I know we've been taught not to question our relationship with alcohol until we've lost everything. And I know we've been taught that if we do dare to examine our relationship with alcohol, we need to head straight to AA and declare ourselves an alcoholic who is powerless to alcohol forever. But what if all that isn't true? That's definitely not my story. I'm Suzanne, the host of the Sober Mom Life podcast. I'm an influencer who stopped drinking in January 2020, and since then, I've been telling the truth about motherhood, influencing, alcohol, and sobriety. If you suspect deep down that glass or 3 of wine at night might just be making motherhood harder, well, you're right. Come and join me as I chat with other sober and sober-curious moms. Let's laugh, cry, and normalize sobriety together, all while we reheat our coffee for the 4th time today.
It's easy to blame ourselves for our struggles with alcohol. We see people around us being able to control their drinking without any consequences, yet no matter what we try, we can't seem to figure it out for ourselves. My name is Jillian Teets, and I am the host of the Sober Powered podcast, where I use my biochemistry background to explain the latest research in addiction and help you understand both why you drink the way you do and how to develop the skills and mindset you need to find freedom from alcohol. I discuss topics like why we think about our drinking 24/7, why we have no off switch, and why we crave alcohol. If you're struggling with your drinking or you know someone who is, then I hope that you will check out the Sober Powered podcast. New episodes every Friday. See you there.